All right, I have 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go live on YouTube. One moment. Okay, the meeting is yours whenever you'd like to start.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Thursday, March 25th, 2021. I'm Rusty Rossman. Our other board members who are all on Zoom this evening are Bob Mastely and Bill McKeever, Rick Sobel, and Clarence Mills. Rick is our representative from the Township Board of Trustees, and Bill is our representative from the Planning Commission. And Bob, myself, and Clarence are members at large. Let me explain how this meeting is run. I'm going to follow the agenda. I will ask at different points, is there anybody from the public who would like to speak to this issue? If you do, we ask that you give your name and spell your last name for us. We also need your mailing address so we can put that in the minutes. It's required. The other thing is, because we're on Zoom, we will be turning you on and turning you off by way of volume. So we're going to have Jacob, who's handling that for us this evening, take care of that. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the call to order. I'm looking for approval of the minutes for the agenda for this evening. May I have a motion from one of the board members for that?
Move approval of the agenda.
And I need a second.
Everyone's muted, so someone's got to unmute.
I think we need to unmute for a little bit, Jacob.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Rusty,
Aye.
I need to
I have
roll
to do
call.
it by roll call. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's right. All right, Rick,
Aye.
roll call. Rick,
Aye.
Clarence,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Bill,
You're muted, Bill.
Rusty says aye. Bill, we need you to unmute.
Aye.
Hi, Bill. Thank you. All right, we have approval. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from January 28, 2021. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as included in your packet? Anybody? If not, the chair will call for a motion to approve the minutes from January 28th.
So moved. And they were
From
painful.
Rick,
They were painful to reread them again.
I need a second, please.
Second.
From Bob Mastely. I'm going to do the roll call. Bill?
Aye.
Rusty? Aye. Rick?
Aye.
Clarence?
Aye.
And who did I leave out? Oh, Rick. Did I get you?
Aye.
Bob. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Those have been approved. Thank you. Is there any public discussion for matters of which there is not, what is not on the agenda this evening?
We have no members of the public with us tonight.
Okay, then let's turn those people off. And now I'm going to turn to the update of activities in Commerce Township. And Rick, I'm going to call on you first as the representative from the trustees.
So it was kind of a little bit of a quiet month. The fire station is under construction on Welch Road. And we have a subcommittee, which I'm a member of, that we are looking to either, we need to update and need a larger police substation. So we are looking at some properties, including a property we own. And so we're making some determinations if we're going to, we own the property 8585 PGA Drive, kind of kitty corner from the Township Hall. If we're either going to convert that into a new police station or we're going to end up building something new. So been working on that the last couple of weeks and we have no further update on that. So that's really about all. It's the library, and I know Rusty loves her garbage. Other than that, that's.
I do, and I love my library. I love the drive-through window. Love that. Okay, thank you very much. And Bill, can you update us, please, from the Planning Commission?
In our last meeting, we just approved a special land use for a new climate-controlled self-storage facility located within the TLM zoning district within the Haggerty Road corridor at the 2 vacant lots at the southwest corner of Pontiac Trail and M5, as
Nice.
well as a corresponding site plan.
Nice.
We also approved a special land use for Jiffy Lube International to construct a oil change facility in one of the outlots at the Meyer store at 1703 Haggerty Road.
Thank you. Would you please let the record show, I'm going to read into it in a moment, a letter that we received from the planning director regarding Bill and his ability and not ability to participate in the voting on the Jiffy Lube. So I'll come to that in a few minutes. Is there any old business to conduct this evening? All right, then I'm going to shut all that down and I'm going to turn to the new business. The first item on the agenda this evening, and I got to put on my glasses, is PA 2101. Nino DeGrazia of Commerce Township is requesting a variance from Article 33 of the Commerce Township zoning ordinance to allow a shed to remain in the lakeside front yard located at 486 Charlevoix, Sidwell number 1703280002. And Nino, I know you're here.
Hey,
Are
Rusty,
you?
Rusty,
Yep.
can you read, you didn't read the part about how.
Thank you. It's right here, right underneath this. Thank you. Before I begin, thank you so much, Rick. I want to share with everybody what is required to receive a dimensional variance. Before making a motion to approve a dimensional variance, the Zoning Board of Appeals must be satisfied that the applicant has established all of the following. 1, without the variance, the applicant cannot use their property in the same manner that others in that zoning district can use their property. The applicant needs to convince us what makes his property different than anyone else who does not require a variance. 2, the variance requested is the least variance that will put the applicant on an equal footing with others in the same zoning district. Will a lesser variance work? 3, the variance is needed because of some unique feature of the applicant's land that does not apply to other land in the zoning district. What is unique about your property that makes this request necessary? 4, the problem is not created by the applicant or their predecessors. Did you or the previous owners of this property create this situation? 5, granting the variance will not cause significant adverse impacts. Persuade us that we won't cause adverse problems for others by granting this variance. And 6, the practical difficulty and hardship sought to be cured by the variance request is not just a minor inconvenience or a desire for a higher financial gain. Why can't you manage without this variance? And why is this a significant issue for you? Rick, thanks again.
Rusty,
Yes.
could I also add, you usually mention that the variance is valid for 365 days.
Yes. And I also need to add that you need to pull the building permit within 365 days or the variance request goes away. Once you pull the building permit, it keeps going. The other thing I want to share with every applicant is each one of us has physically been to your property and taken a look at what it is you're asking for. Okay, and now, Nino, are you there? Whoops.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Hi there.
Hello.
Would you please share with us what it is that you're asking for and why? And then when the two of you are done speaking, that's the end of that part. And then I turn it over to the board members. So if you would please, go ahead. It's your turn.
Yeah, so obviously you guys have been out, you've seen the shed. I had an existing shed there. I rebuilt it. It was a, safety hazard, safety concern. I basically, we need the shed because we're on such a tight lot. I think you guys have all seen the septic field plans. My entire front lot is a septic field. There's very minimal storage, that I can actually use for anything, combustible or not safe to store inside. I have the ATV in there, I use that to plow the street. I think this, this is all broken out in the letter, but I'll go over it again. We're kind of on an isolated peninsula of the street. I don't really think the shed that we have really obstructs anybody's view. I think what I left out of the letter though, there's a ton of foliage in between our house and the neighbor's house. So that in the summertime basically blocks out the whole shed from street view, from my neighbor's view. It doesn't obstruct anybody else, I would say, except us. As far as the 6 points you mentioned, again, I don't want to go over this, I don't want to reiterate myself too much, but in the letter, we don't have any other form of outdoor storage. I mean, this is really the only thing that we can do. I know somebody mentioned something about off-site storage for the stuff under the lean-to, which obviously was covered in a blue tarp that doesn't look the greatest. I've already made arrangements to have everything. Some of that stuff was my work stuff. I made arrangements to get that out of there. The rest of the stuff was patio furniture that my neighbor shrink wraps our other furniture. So I'm just going to have him shrink wrap it right in place on the patio. So we really won't be storing anything else under there, under the lean-to. It kind of doubles as like a shade retreat in the summertime. Other than that, what else? This is,
Yeah, just pretty much, I think the biggest thing is that when we bought the house, it did have a shed, and obviously we didn't know that this was a thing, so we rebuilt it. And like, had we known that, we obviously would have asked for permission,
Right.
But we did have it when we bought the house, and had the house not had a shed when we purchased it, we probably, wouldn't have been able to do that, because we would have had nowhere to store any of our, our outdoor belongings. And then I don't know if this goes, if this is the time to say it, but we have spoken with both neighbors on each side, and the neighbors that are to the, I don't know what direction that would be, the White House,
East side.
the east side of us. They haven't had any issues. They haven't had any complaints about it, and it doesn't obstruct their view as far as their perception goes. So hoping
we do have a lot of neighbor support as well, surrounding neighbors, the neighbors that actually go out onto the lake, that actually benefit from us keeping our lawn looking clean, because they're on the lake. They can actually see our house in the summertime. So that's how we really maintain the property. And all those neighbors are in support of it as well.
Got the letter. Okay,
Adverse effects, I think, again, I don't want to go over everything. I
No.
think you guys all read the
no,
letter.
we all have the letter that you
Yep.
included, and all the letters and everything. And Debbie, Debbie, I didn't mean that. Deb, can you include that in the, instead of me reading each one? Can you put that right into the minutes?
Yes.
Great, thanks. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, thank you both very much. And now we're going to turn to the board members. I'm going
Thank
to
you.
start with Rick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rick, if you would, please.
So, yeah, it's definitely a unique small piece of property. I know we don't also like having a lot of stuff on the lakeside, but in this case, this property is unique. They don't have any other place other than where the shed's at. And then trying to look at if there's a way that someplace else we could move the shed. There's like no place else. I mean, it's pretty limiting. If you move it too close to the house, then they can't access on the side. So I actually, I would vote for this, to leave the shed where it's at. Would ask though if there's a way that they can try not to use the blue tarp, do something so that it won't stand out so much, especially in the wintertime. And if anything you can try to do and one condition is that it can only have your personal items and no business related items. Like if we do get approval on this, I'd like to include that wording to make it very clear. Other than that, that's all that I have at this point.
Did you want to speak to the lean-to at all, which they added, which was not there originally?
I don't have anything to say on that right now. I may come back, but.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Clarence?
Okay, you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can even see you.
okay. I was kind of surprised at how small the property is. And really, like Rick says, there's not much room to store anything there. I really didn't have a problem with the shed, and was kind of surprised as to how well the shed matched the house, the trim, the paint, the whole 9 yards. It looked real nice. Certainly not in any form of disrepair. It's obviously been taken care of. The lean-to seems kind of big to me, but I could go along with voting for that if that's the way it goes.
Okay, thank you. Bob?
Yep, I'm gonna basically ditto everything Rick and Clarence said. One thing I did want to note though is most of the neighbors in the area do have either a shed or a garage or both. So it would, I think having a shed is definitely something that it is advantage. It's not putting them above anybody else in the neighborhood. As far as the lean-to, because we're not asking for any size variance, I don't have a problem with the lean-to.
Okay, thank you. Bill?
I agree with everything that's been brought up. The only thing that I would add is, should this variance be granted, I think since there was construction involved in the structure, that whatever necessary permits, even though it's after the fact, whatever necessary permits should have been pulled prior, should be done, the structure inspected, and deemed safe.
Okay, thank you. I do have some objections and some points that I'd like to make. The shed, I understand completely. The lean-to, not at all. The lean-to doesn't match at all. And it truly, especially if you move out the business items, I know you'd like it for shade, but you could buy one of those big things, those umbrella things they have at Costco that would give you the same thing. But the lean-to, I don't want the lean-to there. It doesn't fit, and it increases the degree of nonconformity, which I know you didn't know when you enlarged the shed, but the lean-to just doesn't work as far as I am concerned. I would also like, when the motion is made, to entertain the thought that should the opportunity become available for the neighbor, for this family to purchase property to the east of them. Am I correct? It's east? Yeah, to the east of them, that gives them a larger property, that they build a garage, and which I know they would like to do. And if that does happen, then the shed has to go. Now, I would like that included in the motion. I would be interested what other people think about the lean-to itself, since what they came for was the shed. They enlarged the shed that was there, but there was no lean-to there.
So Rusty, so I'm trying to, see it how you see what you see in that. And it's
unsightly.
Well, so let me ask you this. If it was painted the same color with the gray and white as the rest of it, would that change that for you?
No, they enlarged the shed and then added the lean-to. I think the lean-to came after the enlarging of the shed. And what they're asking for is to enlarge the shed. They're not asking to include the lean-to.
I understand. And I know it's hard you have to visualize it without the blue tarp in there, but it's okay. So you're saying it's not the visual part, it's not the fact that you don't want it because that was not part of the original.
Well, it's not part of it, and the visual, it doesn't fit. And while they could certainly make it look like the other, I don't want to say a catch-all, but it is the kind of a thing that can end up being what it is now. And I don't want to see that, if at all possible. And I know the property was that size when they bought it, and we all have those same issues. We all do. I mean, so many of us have storage units for things for that same reason. So I don't have a problem with the shed. It's the lean-to that I'm objecting to. Anybody else have any thoughts about that? Okay, if not, then the chair will call for a motion. Who would like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Let me, hold on, let me double check my notes. I think I'm missing one. Well, chime in if I'm missing some of the
We're
add-ons.
good at that. We know how to do that.
Okay, so regarding PA 21-01, approval to grant the variance from section 33.01.A.5.A of the Township zoning ordinance to allow to remain in the lakeside front yard of the home at 846 Charlevoix, including the lean-to, with the following conditions: that the only items that can be stored in the lean-to and in the shed are personal items, no business items. In the event that the petitioner does build a garage at a later date, that the shed would have to be removed. And I know I'm missing a third one.
Permits?
Oh, thank
Do you
you.
want him to make the lean-to match the shed?
I'm not hearing anyone else say that. I brought that up. I said that and you didn't like
Oh.
that. You accept that, Rusty.
No, I mean, if you're going, in your motion, I would like to see it say that the lean-to would match the shed.
So Nino, can you unmute yourself so I can ask you a question?
Hello.
That treated lumber, can it be painted?
It can be stained. It could be painted, like the deck on the ground.
I'm not so much of the deck, but I'm talking the part.
The pole, like the-
Yeah, the poles can be
I mean, kind
painted.
of like the roof line, and I mean, you know what you're looking at, yours.
Yeah,
The
yeah, absolutely.
railing.
That
I don't know
could be
about the
painted.
lattice. What about the lattice, Rusty? Can that just be left the same?
Let's say make the lean-to as close as possible, looking like the same materials as the shed, same look as the shed, same
Okay.
look.
That's
Is
fine.
that fair?
Is that doable?
Yeah.
That's doable.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Bill's comment about require the building permit and inspection.
Yep.
Yep.
I have building permit, no personal or only personal
No work
belongings,
material.
no work materials, which has already been taken care of. And then the shed removed if we do purchase, which would be my dream, the lot next
I
door.
know it would. I
Yeah,
know.
right,
If you win the lottery and then you need the neighbor to say yes. I know
Right.
that.
right.
Okay.
And I'm not going to put in the wording about the blue tarp, but you can try to do whatever
We
you
will
can.
not use the
That's-
blue tarp
We
at
will
all.
not use the blue
We
tarp.
promise.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Rick, anything else you want to add?
Also, just because the property is very unique, the variance will give the applicant substantial justice to bring them in compliance in terms of some similar properties for lakefront storage.
And it's not for financial gain.
Circumstances, right, so unique circumstances due to the peculiarity of the size of the land. It's not self-created, and it will not cause any adverse impact to any of the adjacent properties.
Thank you. Is there a second for that very long?
I'll second Rick's motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Clarence. Is there any discussion? If not, the chair will call for the motion. Clarence, I'll start with you.
Approve.
Approve. Okay, Bob,
Approve.
Bill,
Approved.
Rick,
Going this way, approve.
and Rusty will approve also. Okay, so it has passed. And what happens next is on Monday, you can go into the town. You have to wait a minute. I forgot to tell you this part. You will get a letter from the planning department anywhere from 5 to 10 days. When you receive that letter, take it into the building department and they will tell you what to do next regarding for the variance. But you need to take that letter with you. Okay?
Okay,
Okay. Thank you. It was nice meeting you both.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you all
You've
so
done
much.
a
Thank you, everybody, yeah.
beautiful job on updating and making the house look absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
thank you.
We
Oh, you-
really
you-
appreciate you all so much. This is a lifesaver. So I thank you all very much.
You're very welcome.
And so does
You're
our
welcome.
sale.
Our son's gonna love it even more.
Yeah,
Feel
he's
free to
adorable.
stay on. if you
Okay,
want.
thank you so much. Good night.
If you want to.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, the next item on our agenda is A PA 2102 Jiffy Lube. And before I read that, I need to read this. So bear with me 1 second while I get this brought up. And this is from the Planning Department because Bill McKeever is on the Planning Commission and he has already voted on this. Please listen to what the following says. The Michigan Zoning Enabling Act is the state law that governs the creation and operation of a municipality zoning board of appeals. Section 601 of the Zoning Enabling Act states that a township zoning board of appeals shall include a member of the township's planning commission. Bill McKeever has served as the Commerce Township Planning Commission's representative on the zoning board of appeals since 2003. The Michigan Zoning Enabling Act further states that a member of the zoning board of appeals who is also a member of the planning commission shall not participate in a public hearing on or vote on the same matter that a member voted on as a member of the planning commission. The member may consider and vote on other unrelated matters involving the same property. On March 1, 2021, the Planning Commission approved a special land use and a corresponding site plan for a new Jiffy Lube Automotive Service Center on the newly created outlot within the Meyer Store property. And I am referring to the one on Haggerty Road. Mr. McKeever voted on Jiffy Lube's special land use and site plan as a member of the Planning Commission. Mr. McKeever therefore cannot participate in or vote on Jiffy Lube's petition before the Zoning Board of Appeals. Mr. McKeever will remain live for Jiffy Lube's petition during the electronic meeting and may be called upon by ZBA members seeking to any information specific to the Planning Commission's action, relative to the special land use and the site plan, but he should not be called upon as part of any discussion specific to the sign exceptions, please excuse me, being requested by Jiffy Lube. Are there any questions about what I just read? All right, I'm going to close that. Now I'll go back to this. Don't go far. Okay, so PA 2102 Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube International Incorporated of Houston, Texas is requesting signs exceptions from Article 30 of the Commerce Township Zoning Ordinance to exceed the number and square footage allowed for wall signage located on the west side of Haggerty Road in an outlot of the Meyer Store at 1703 Haggerty Road, Sidwell number. And this is part of 1725-426-014. Hello, is somebody here from Jiffy Lube?
Through the chair, yes. This is Matthew Pisco representing Jiffy Lube International.
Okay, Matthew. Can I call you Matthew?
Most certainly.
Okay, I don't see you, but I hear you. Okay, Matthew, if you would please share with us what it is that you are asking for. And then when you are finished, I will then turn to the board members. But you begin, please.
Through the chair, is it all right if I share screens?
Yes, but I can't see it. Jacob, what happened?
Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Okay, yes, thank you. I can see it now. Go ahead, Matthew, please.
This is the existing Meyer parking lot parcel that we're proposing to develop along Haggerty Road. Library Pub is back here. This is the after proposal, and you'll see we're filling the spot, and we're retaining this landscape island and this mature landscaping in front of the store, and keeping this mature landscaping, I'll click back, and then augmenting on the backside. But this screen here along Haggerty Road, and this is kind of in the winter. I'll drag this across. This is a development. As you head north on Haggerty Road, this site is completely invisible to northbound traffic. If you can imagine, this is the very first break in that evergreen and deciduous tree island. that they can see the building. So we're proposing a sign, and I'll show you the elevations,
Sure.
elevations, that northbound traffic can see the east side of the building. Now, conversely, as people head south, they can't see because of the trees along here, and they're in the not the center lane, but the southbound lane, not the turn lane, traversing. They can't see the front of the building,
Mhm.
and see the north side of the building. We don't have the benefit of a monument sign, so this is really the only two times. This small break, as you're headed north, you'll be able to see this portion of the building, and as you head south, you'll be able to see this face of the building. And I'll click through to get to the elevations. This would be the north elevation. So as you're heading south, you would be able to see this for a very brief period of time, and enough time to allow you to make a decision to turn into the Meyer approach to get to the property. And as you head north, this is the east face of the building that you'd be able to see in that little window in front of the building. So this is the addressed side of the building. If this sign alone it complies fully with the size requirements. It's just we don't have a monument sign, and that living screen is extremely effective. Here's the library pub as you traverse north, and you look this way. This was when the property was for sale. This is what we're going to be behind. We move a little further north. Here's the Meyer gas station. You'll bear with me. That's the Meyer monument sign you saw in the aerial. We're behind this screen. So it's just until you get to this point here where, now of course it does that, but I'll just turn around.
It is challenging,
It
but you're doing a good job.
52 times today. Here's Cold Stone Crewing, where I go all the time. All right, here's the other side. This is that entire landscape island that we're retaining, and we're augmenting landscape around the backside. This is the first chance you'll get to see the north side of the building. So we think each one of those signs only serves to northbound and southbound traffic, not either at the same time. So it's certainly not going to add to sign blight. And as far as the 7 exception standards for signs, I think we have a compelling argument that we're not asking for anything in excess of what we need to identify the business, and would ask for your consideration. Again, these are the signs. They're 38 square feet in total, backlit, and from guidance from the Planning Commission meeting, this had a substantial amount of ephes on it. We've converted the building to be 100% brick, and we added additional fenestrations on the front of the building. It was originally just this. We added these 2 3-set windows along with the awnings on the east elevation. And if you have any questions, comments, or you want me to look through the drawings, I'd be glad to do so.
Well, thank you. No, I don't at this moment. Gentlemen, I'm going to excuse myself for a minute because I have to go get my sign variance. I only had the dimensional one, but I'm going to turn it over. Rick, if you would start, please. Oh, it did start raining. The weatherman did tell the truth. I'll be right back. Don't go far.
Okay, since I'm in charge, okay. So actually, Bill, are you there, Bill?
I am.
Did you talk about the fact when they presented that the signs were larger, or the need for variance?
We did. And the planning commission is very appreciative to the reduction in ethos. But I don't know that I could speak to their opinion on the on additional signage.
I was looking at, I didn't know if you, so did you discuss it all with them at the planning commission about the signs and what the ordinance said?
We did express to them how this was the most signed property. This would be the most signed property in the township. And I don't know that I can go beyond that.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure that there was at least discussion. Okay. Matt, was this sign, is this smaller than what was originally proposed?
Oh, substantially smaller. If you'll humor me, I'll show you what the original elevations were, if that'll be a benefit.
They're allowed 42 square feet based on their 42 lineal feet.
No,
Okay,
I want to see what they originally were proposing. It's smaller now than what, I want to see what they started with.
Yes, it is substantially smaller. Open this. This was the original sign package. We're proposing 38 square feet on the north side, 38 square feet on the south side, and on the east elevation, 38 square feet, but split between two different signs. So we've completely omitted the sign on the south side because that living screen completely obscures the building from the south side. It would be impossible to see. I mean, you may see glimpses of the building, but it's not going to be a safe way to inform the public as they head north. So we omitted this sign. This side of the building, if you can imagine, is the east side of the building is still obscured to this point. So we eliminated this whole element, and in lieu of that, moved one of these signs up here, because when that break occurs as you head north, you can actually see this corner of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that with the caveat, at some point in time, those trees are going to grow and it may be reduced, but this is the best shot at getting our signs noticed for the time being. I mean, we have no option that screen will continue to grow. And then the north elevation is the one that is the only one that's visible to southbound traffic. So I guess what we're trying to get across is that you can't see the signs unless you're you can see one 38 square foot sign when you're headed northbound, and you can see one 38 square foot sign as you head southbound. You can't see both from the same time just because of the angles of the building.
So is the Pennzoil sign completely gone now?
This entire element is gone.
Okay.
And this entire element is gone. We've replaced this element with a sign like this. I'll click over here, if you can imagine. So this is the north elevation has this. What that band that we had previously was along here. We've omitted that because this part of the building is not visible to northbound traffic. This is where we chose to put the sign because we think it'll actually be informative.
Okay, so we're on the, I guess it would be considered here on the north elevation.
Yes, sir.
Where you have the Jiffy Lube logo, the wording Jiffy Lube, and then below that multi-care.
Yes.
Is that, are those multiple signs or is that one sign?
That's considered one 38 square foot sign.
And the part that says tires, brakes, those, Paula, are allowable because they're,
Yes, those are allowed as directional.
okay.
We don't even look at them.
So which is really putting them over?
Basically, they were asking for 3 additional signs initially at the planning commission. Now they're only
Paula,
asking-
you're breaking up.
Try it again.
Initially, all they were asking for, or they were asking for 3 additional signs. Now they're only asking 1.
Which one? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's,
The north side. They are allowed to have the east side. They're asking for the north.
Paula, aren't they asking for north and south?
No. They got rid of that one.
Yeah, the south, that's, if I can help Paula here, the south side, the sign has been completely removed because it's completely obscured by the living.
Oh, okay.
We
So
propose,
you're asking for east. You're asking for east and north are the 2 signs. Is that correct?
through the chair, you are
Okay.
so you're allowed 2 and they're asking for 3.
No,
They're
They're
allowed
allowed-
1.
Allowed 1 in this.
asking.
in this one, which only serves northbound traffic. We're asking for a second sign on the north side to serve southbound. And,
It works.
and not having a monument sign, it makes, no pun intended, a monumental difference as well. Serves both purposes.
Okay, all right. I think I'm good for right now.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Rick?
No.
All right, what I would like to take a moment before I call on the other board members is read what the variance needs have to be met. Before making a motion to approve or deny one or more sign exceptions, we as a board must consider all of the following for the sign variance. 1, a conforming sign would create a dangerous condition. Does the exception make the sign safer, and if so, how? 2, a conforming sign will not be visible to the passing motorist. Why would a conforming sign not be visible, and how does the exception you seek remedy the problem? 3, a conforming sign would require significant tree removal or topographic changes. How would granting this exception avoid or reduce changes to the topography and save trees? 4, an exception to the height and/or area requirements of the ordinance would allow the sign to blend with its surroundings. What about the design and development of the building, site frontage, or neighborhood supports an exception from the height or area standards? How does the exception cause the sign to be more in scale with its surroundings? 5, granting the exception would not be adverse to the character or appearance of the surrounding buildings, properties, or the neighborhoods. Persuade us that granting the exception won't cause the sign to be out of place with its surroundings. 6, the requested exception is the least necessary to reasonably accomplish the sign's purpose. What requirements of a conforming sign prohibit the fulfillment of the sign's purpose, and why? Will a lesser exception from the ordinance work for you? And lastly, the purpose and intent of the sign ordinance is to preserve the aesthetics, natural surroundings, and public safety of the area, and the exception would not result in a sign that is significantly contrary to this intent and purpose. Persuade us that granting this variance will not create a significant conflict with the intent and purpose of the ordinance. Persuade us that granting this exception will not result in a sign that will be significantly more inconsistent with the surroundings than a sign without the exception. Okay, now, thank you very much, everybody. And now I'm going to call on, I'm not calling on Bill, but I'd like to call on Clarence, please.
Well, the first question I have, this sign, is it something that's going to be constructed in bolted to the surface of the wall, or is it something that's going to be painted on? I don't have a good feel for what the sign, how it's going to be mounted to the building.
Through the chair, it is, they're individual channel letters, probably 4 inches deep and LED internally illuminated. So they are attached to the building individually. They are not painted. So this is a letter set, if you will.
Oh, okay, so all the words, each individual letter of the word is going to be illuminated and attached to the building. Is that correct?
That's correct. And if our hours are 0700 to 2000, 8 p.m. So in Michigan, as we all well know, during the depressing months, it gets dark at 5 o'clock. So that's when you'll recognize the illumination.
And the request that you have is to add one additional sign on the north side of the building above the door that looks like a pedestrian door entrance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. That's all I have, Rusty.
Okay, thank you. Bob, what about you? Bob?
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I had the agenda up on my other screen. So my thought is, I think the north elevation does have better visibility than the east elevation. I'm not sure the east elevation has all that much visibility, and it might, I mean, the minimal we could do potentially is just allow them to put the sign on the north elevation, opposed to having it on the east where it would have a little bit more visibility. I wouldn't be opposed to considering an option like that. I'm just not sure if the need for 2 signs is really being met.
Okay, thank you. All right, are you finished? Because I would like to ask Paula a question. If I'm correct, Matt just told us that they're going to have illuminated numbers telling the hours of operation. Is that correct?
No.
No?
No, I think he mentioned that's the typical hours where the illumination is on.
Oh, I was confused. Okay, because that would have been another sign. Okay. So I understand what you're saying. So the lighting will only be during the darker hours, in other words.
Yes, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
That's the way I understood it.
I do understand that the Planning Commission and Jiffy Lube worked long and hard to give and to get, and Commerce Township is getting. There's going to be a sidewalk that's going to be a gift from Jiffy Lube. Matt, can you tell us from where to where that sidewalk is going to go?
It will go along our entire frontage here. It'll be rather meandering to fit on the outside of this landscaping.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can pull up the. We haven't worked the details out, but it will be. Let me get one more thing.
Will it go anywhere?
It's this frontage here.
So it's going to go, like you can say, like from Crum Road all the way up to where you are?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That was one thing that that was a quote unquote gift, and how much we appreciate that you were able to agree to an all brick building. It's a very positive thing for Commerce Township and makes you a very good neighbor. Bob, I understand what you're saying, but the one thing that Matt pointed out that we have to be cognizant of is trees grow. And that's an issue that we run into all the time, especially along Haggerty Road. I had that by the Applebee's. If you remember that, Rick, that Applebee's wanted to move their sign because since they planted everything, the trees grew.
Yeah.
And it became an issue. So Bob, I hear what you're saying, but we have had more than one tree growing, obstructing a sign in the past. So I understand where Matt is coming from with the trees growing. I have no objections to this, but I do want to tell Jiffy Lube how much I personally, and I'm sure the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board altogether, how well you worked with Commerce Township, because it is a very good thing. Okay, is there anybody else on the board of the four of us who would like to add anything to the discussion before I call for a motion?
Yes, I would. So
Please.
to me, they're entitled to 2 signs. And what I mean by that is if this was not in the parking lot of Myers, if this was their own piece of property,
Mhm.
they would be able to have another sign out near the road for
A monument, yeah.
right. So because of the way of our ordinance is written right now, they're not able to get that because Meyer has it.
Mhm.
So to me, they're entitled to 2 signs if you can. And I know maybe I'm going to probably talk to Dave and see if there's kind of wording that if in the event, like there is they shouldn't be harmed because it's within an existing piece of property. And have to see if there's a way that they can come up with some wording that could allow then a second sign, building sign, wall sign, if someone either chooses to or voluntarily, involuntarily is not able to have a monument sign. So that's why, to me, they're entitled to 2 signs. I understand the variance wording is different, but
The other point that I want to add to yours is we are delighted that Jiffy Lube is building and occupying this building, but God forbid down the road, they are not the occupants of the building. The next, and we had this discussion about Zerbos, the next occupant of the building is going to have a very similar issue of signs being seen. And they don't, the way the landscaping requirements for Meyer, they can't put out a monument sign.
right.
Am I correct, Paula?
They are not entitled to a monument sign because
They're not entitled to a monument sign at all because they're within the Meyer property. Is that correct?
that's correct.
That's how come Goodyear doesn't have it and everybody else, not Goodyear. What do I want to say? Goodfellows? What is it?
Goodwill.
Goodwill. Thank you. I knew good was in there somewhere. That's why they can't have a monument sign because they're within the property. Okay. All right. Is there anybody else or any who would like to add anything else to this before I call for a motion? Paula, is there anything you would like to share with us from the planning department?
Nope, guys, hit
Just
on it all.
remember, it takes three votes.
Yes, we need 3 of the 4 of us to approve this evening because Bill is not able to vote on this and we do not have an alternate with us this evening. So we need 3 out of the 4. The chair will call for a motion. Who would like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'm probably gonna need a little bit of help.
Oh, we can do that.
I make a motion that we approve the request on PA 21-02 for a second wall sign at the Jiffy Lube at 1545 Haggerty Road.
Go to the front page of our paperwork where the request is.
It's on
Yeah.
the second.
Yeah, just read those 3. That'll help.
Okay, a second wall sign where 1 wall sign is permitted.
Mhm.
The total combined wall sign area of 76 square feet or 42 square feet is permitted. And a wall sign on the non-address side of the building, which would be the north side.
Yeah, for the following reasons.
Well,
You want some help?
yep, the trees are
Okay.
gonna grow and it's gonna block the view of that,
Yeah,
the
well-
permitted sign on the east side of the building.
Right, a conforming sign would not be visible to passing motorists. A conforming sign would require significant tree removal. Let's see, it will not be adverse to the character or appearance of the surrounding buildings, properties, or neighborhood. And this is the least amount necessary to reasonably accomplish the sign's purpose. And the intent of the sign ordinance does meet the intent to preserve the aesthetics, natural surroundings, and public safety of the area. And the exception would not result in a sign that is significantly contrary to this intent and purpose. Is that what you wanted to say, Clarence?
That's what I was trying to say.
That's
That
exactly
was
what you
so
wanted.
well worded that I'll support that.
You did a great job. All right, who supported that?
I did.
Rick,
Rick did. Okay, great. Then the chair, is there any discussion on the motion? Then the chair will call for the vote. Clarence, I'm going to start with you.
aye.
Rick,
Aye.
Rusty, yes. And Bob?
Yes.
Okay, then the motion has carried. Matt, it was a pleasure. And again, we thank you from the community for a lovely building and how well you worked with the Planning Commission. I know how much everybody appreciated that.
It's been a pleasure and we look forward to our continued relationship. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And when do you believe construction will begin?
Well, as soon as humanly possible, in 2021. But that they were.
Okay. Well, the same thing applies to you as the first a petition. You will get a letter from the planning department anywhere from 5 to 10, 12 days. And you'll need that, your building people will need to take that into the building department.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Thank you to Ms. Langford and Mr. Campbell for helping us organize our thoughts. And it's been, again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
You are so welcome. They are really very, very good at this.
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you. All right, are there other matters to come before the board this evening? Anybody, anything? Any
got it.
correspondence? Go ahead.
I will say we did, Dave Campbell and probably Paula too, because we really know she runs the place, made a concerted effort to try to get an alternate for tonight's meeting. But it didn't work out.
Well, we'll try again next month. We'll try again.
Rusty, I've got a question. I think it's more probably for Paula. Is the intent in going forward that we get our information just on an email or message, or will we be getting the packets or what?
I will give you a packet clearance.
Okay,
There's a few of you that want hard copy and there's a few of you that want that electronic is fine. So I will get you a hard copy.
okay. For me, it's easier to read because I read those 48 pages of last month's or the previous thing you had, and that would have been a nightmare trying to read that on my little phone screen.
Yeah.
No problem. Is my audio any better?
Mediocre. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Any correspondence for us? How about the planning director's report?
Well, I had one, but you guys can't hear me.
Well, try anyway.
I just was gonna update you on a few things. Are you hearing me okay enough, or do you want me to email this to you on Monday?
It's breaking up a lot.
Send it to us. Email it to us. Email it to us. All right. I would just like to pass along to Deb the congratulations from the ZBA on your your interim appointment as the director of the DDA. And we know how much Mark has helped you learn all the way along. And we so look forward to having you continue all the good work that the DDA does.
Thank you, Rusty.
You're welcome. You wear a lot of hats and you do it beautifully. Okay, if there is nothing else to come before the board this evening, I will call for a motion to adjourn, and we have to do it by voice. So anybody make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, I'll second it. Clarence, all in favor? Clarence?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Rusty? Aye. Okay, everybody, it was lovely seeing you all, and we'll see each other again in May, if not earlier. Okay, stay well, everybody. Have a beautiful Easter, and I hope you all find the chocolate eggs, because hard-boiled eggs aren't as much fun as chocolate ones.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thanks so much.
Aye.
Bye-bye.